Hey, y'all.
Wyclef Jean, BKS1 Radio. Let's go.
This is Essence Atkins, and this is BKS1 Radio.
Hi, this is Melba Moore, and you're listening to BKS1 Radio.
Yo, check it out. What's the deal? This the chef. Giving a big shout out to my peoples. Big KS, you already know what it is. Salute.
What's up? It's your girl Monifa, and I'm hanging with BKS1 Radio.
Hi, I'm Iyanla Van Zandt, and you're listening to BKS1 Radio.
BKS Radio, baby.
Hey, this is Jasmine Guy for BKS1 Radio.
What's going on? This is Lamont Rooker, and this is BKS1 Radio.
Shout out to BKS1, the best kept damn secret in the business.
Hey, what's up? This is Raven Goodwin from BET's Being Mary Jane, and shout out to BKS1.
Hi, this is Leon. You're watching BKS1 Radio.
BKS1. God bless y'all.
Hey, that Leon. Yes, Lord. Happy Tuesday. It's my favorite day of the week. It's your favorite day of the week. And it's your girl, Tiffany. How y'all doing? Happy Making Me Mad at Tuesday. What is going on? Hey, Reese. I see you on here. Hey, Teresa. Good to see you, T. Suzanne Parchment, my Susie P. It's good to see you on here. Y'all, I need you guys to go ahead, tag a friend, text a friend, tell a friend, and let them know that the Making Me Madder radio show is indeed on the air. Y'all know how we like to get started off. Holla at your girl. Let me know what city, what state you are in. Let me know how your weekend was. Let me know how your day was. Y'all, I had a good day. You know why? Because I have been looking forward to tonight since last night and the night before and the night before. And since I was able to land this interview because I have questions. Cassandra Jenkins Williams, God bless you. Good to see you on here. It's good to see you. Erica Johnson. Hey, Eva. So, y'all, let me just say this. If you have not followed him, I need you guys to go to Instagram and follow I Am Rob Malloy. He is just, first of all, based on what I've seen from the videos, just a gentleman. Just a gentleman, but I love what he talks about, and I have a lot of questions, and I know you guys have a lot of questions. Erica said the other day, I'm going to be on. I'm watching. So I'm so excited, Erica, that you made it. This is going to be a wonderful, fun-filled night with questions. Look at Teresa. She said, I'm still ready. Precious, good to see you, Precious, on here. And so without further ado, not adieu as goodbye, without further ado, meaning we are not waiting any longer. Let me bring my special guest in. Are y'all ready for it? Like I'm ready for it? Let's give it up for Mr. Rob Malloy.
Hey.
How you feeling?
Hey, I feel amazing. Listen, I appreciate you allowing me to be on the platform. I love your work.
Thank you.
And I love the fact that you're very consistent. And so, consistency is really big for me. So I'm happy to be a part of what we got going on. So
Thank you. I'm excited. Listen, I have been excited since I don't know when, since excitement started. And it's so funny because a lot of people can't handle my being on 100. But that's just how I am. When life is just what it is, and when you get a chance to meet different people, get different experiences, they get to share in your experiences, and you get to go ahead and be a blessing to other people. That's how I look at you. I have been watching your videos, watching your page. I said, oh, good God. Jesus, first of all, keep me near the cross. That's number one. Number two, what you describe as the whole dear future wife, and then reading up about you being a father, you're a very you don't carry yourself in an arrogant demeanor. I couldn't wait for people to see this kind of man.
Wow, that's amazing. I appreciate that. Obviously, I'm very casual tonight. I am traveling because we're filming tomorrow.
Okay.
So, I wanted to just show, what being vulnerable, what being just straight, raw, uncut, and personal. Because to me, it's not about the outside appearance. You got to have some substance to you. So I will be showing that tonight, and I look forward to it.
How hard is that? I'm just going to jump into that part because how hard is that being who you are? And people are just going to look at the outside, and I'm not trying to be funny. Hear my heart when I say this, right? And completely miss what you are saying. Do you have that happen? Have you had like conversation with people and you're like, you just missed what I said?
Yeah, that happens all the time. But I'm in a position where I'm operating in my purpose. So you have to understand that it's not how many people you reach, it's who you reach. If I could just reach one man to let them know, hey, you're on this earth with a purpose, operate in that. So when you do that, you focus on that. You won't have to worry about being disciplined and consistent because that's what's going to make you a better person. It's going to make you a better man before you can be somebody's fiance, before you can be somebody's husband. So if one guy gets the message, if a young lady gets the message that regardless of who you dated in your past and how you may feel devalued because how you was treated, to know that there is a man preparing himself right now to be your partner. If one woman gets that message, then I'm happy with that. Right. And that's okay.
Let me tell you something. I have wondered, how is it? Do men actually listen to you? Because you make so much sense and you really speak. And I don't know if people have really paid attention, but you don't just speak to the heart of a woman. You really speak to the heart of a man. And it's like, okay, sir, let me help you build up so that you know how to be for her. Or if there's something that you need to change, it's okay. You did a video about that.
I did.
You did a video about that. Yeah.
It's extremely important to understand where you came from, but not hold that against yourself, because we've made all kinds of mistakes from childhood, from adolescence, adulthood. And a lot of times we carry that stuff. Men carry baggage all the time. We talk about women and their baggage and not, having self-love, self-esteem, but men have a lot of baggage to where they don't feel like they're worthy to even date women of a certain caliber. So a lot of times, they'll look for somebody who may not understand her essence of a woman, or understand that, regardless of her past, it's time to step into your greatness. And, we're at so you have to be at a point of understanding that everything you can control is right in front of you. You can't control anything that's behind you. So what you can control is right in front of you. So you have to own up to that. You have to be responsible for that. And moving forward, you just have to be very intentional in everything that you do.
Be very intentional with everything that you do. Do you think that people have a problem being intentional? Because one word you used earlier that I absolutely loved is the V word, vulnerable. Because I think that, to be honest with you, I don't know if you ever heard of her. There's an author named Brené Brown. You ever heard of her before?
I've heard of Brené Brown, yes.
So she has this book called Rising Strong. And she explains the dynamic of vulnerability and how vulnerability is a strength. I've never looked at being vulnerable the same since. What does vulnerability mean to you?
Yeah. Vulnerability can be scary for people because usually what's attached to that is judgment. But vulnerability is sharing and embracing your truth. Once you get on the other side of fear, then everything that you can operate and do and live in your truth is going to be there. But you have to get over that. So vulnerability is definitely one of the steps to realize, I didn't make all the best decisions.
Right.
I still make mistakes, and I'm embracing my journey, not just feeling bad or embarrassed about my past. So you have to understand that this This is a marathon. We want longevity,
Right.
right? When
Right.
you run a sprint, people run a sprint, 40, 100 yard, whatever the case is. Once you run a sprint, you're exhausted and you want to stop.
Right.
So when we talk about a marathon, that means you have to pace yourself. You have to understand your strengths. You have to understand your weaknesses, and you have to act accordingly. You learn how to breathe better. You learn how to pace yourself. You learn how to take strides and things like that. And that's it. It all comes together. So vulnerability is definitely one of the first steps where you can strip your ego and pride. That's what vulnerability means to me. You're stripping your ego, your pride. This is you, and you're willing to move forward in your life, regardless of what it's going to take, how hurtful it can be, because on the other side of that fear and vulnerability is everything that you deserve in life.
That part there. And that's what I'm going to clap it up for. Right there.
No doubt.
So
No doubt.
what do you think about, tell me about this dating after divorce?
Yeah. Yeah. So, what I talk about is my personal experience. So a lot of times people don't really understand. They think that I'm just trying to talk at people and things like that. Everything that I say, everything that I project is to me first.
Right.
And if somebody can get a blessing or some understanding, at minimum perspective of my message, then, I'm doing my job. I'm operating in my purpose, using my gifts and talents to do that. So, I've been married. I've actually been married twice. I got married when I was 21 years old in the military, wanted to be grown, but I didn't understand the proper steps of what it takes to be a husband. I don't blame, my ex-wife. I don't blame the things that she may have done, because all I can do is be responsible and accountable for my activity.
Right.
I wasn't prepared to be a leader of a home. And so it didn't work. And we didn't want to continue to work on it. We just felt like, hey, we're just going to move, forward while we're still young. So I gave it a shot in my early 30s. Again, I felt like I'm older, I'm mature, I'm more established. But what I didn't take into account was actually having, I call it a family plan. Like, you have to know what that dynamic is going to look like. What's your background? How are you raised? How do you raise your children?
Right.
And is that conducive to, your spouse, your partner? And not only that, can you guys come together and create a new family plan on what this looks like? I know that you raise your kids, or you raise your kid a certain way. I know that you've been raised a certain way because of your background and your parents and family, but we have to create something new.
Right.
Right. So we can take the challenges, and we can take the advantages of what we learn, but we have to create something brand new. And that's something that people really have to understand. Compromise is not a joke.
Right.
Right?
It's
Compromise is not a joke.
It's not.
They talk about, right. And so people talk about sacrifice, but sometimes, people throw around sacrifice and associate it to somebody who is selfish and doesn't want to change. But, if you believe in what the Bible says, it says obedience is better than a sacrifice. So if you think about obedience, and that means there's some things that you need to do that has nothing to do with that other person. So you can't put it on that person because you wasn't even obedient in the beginning. So that's something that I had to learn. That's something that I embrace. Obedience being better than a sacrifice, and it gets you a lot further along with understanding and having a more realistic perspective if you're going to be with someone. But more importantly, if you're going to be the best version of yourself, so you don't run into really challenging times trying to be with somebody in a relationship.
First of all, you lost me when you started talking Bible. See, this is why I said earlier, Jesus, you're going to have to keep me near the cross. But at the end of the day, something that you just said about obedience, and can I just be honest and say something? There can't be a measure or an element of obedience if you're not secure with who you are where you're
Facts.
able to bring the obedience into a relationship with somebody else. And there has to be a component of being able to say, I know who I am. I know who you are. I know who I am. I'm not ashamed to say, this is me. This is me. I have this. I have that. And being secure in your identity. And I think
that's good.
I think a lot of times that people get so lost in a relationship because one, they get so focused on something that God never intended them to focus on. And then they start losing themselves in the relationship. And it's like, and you would not, I'm just using you as an example. You would be like, well, dag, who is this person I got with? This isn't the same person. Right. You know, so it's incredible when you mention that whole obedience piece. And that identity component is what kind of triggered, well, not triggered, but like came to my mind with that. So, yeah.
You know, everything that you're saying is exactly what I feel it has to do, everything to do with alignment. You know, I feel like we're in this lifetime, we're in three places. We're in one of three places. Either we just got out of something, either we're about to go through something, or we're right there in the middle of it. Oof. We're only in one of those three places. And when you can be transparent and identify where you're at, and the person that you decide to get to know or take things to the next level, if both of you can be that transparent, then that is a strong component in the vetting process. You know, because first of all, this person is letting you know where they're at. If you've been in a relationship, whether it be a marriage, long-term relationship, even some situationships, whatever the case is, a lot of times you are being who you are for that person.
Right.
So you are losing a sense of identity. And once that relationship is over, you have to see who you are now, because you have different needs. You should be taking your experiences and allowing that to make you a better person in your decision-making process, and your tolerance level, and protecting your peace. Like, all of those components should be a part of your new identity. And nothing's wrong with having a new identity, especially when you're a better person and you're utilizing your experiences. And I think one of the biggest issues is, you know, people don't want to change. They want to find someone who is different. Instead of them changing, instead of them improving and taking accountability and responsibility, they just want to find somebody who they feel like is a better fit.
Find somebody who is a better fit. And am I wrong for saying, you know what? Can I be honest with you?
Be honest with me.
Sometimes people better be careful what they go looking for. Because if you try to go look for what's a better fit, and you haven't changed, your fit is about to get worse. That's going to be the baggiest fit.
Right. You're just dating the same person in a different body at that point.
That's it. Let me tell you something. I was married before. Okay.
Yeah.
I was married. I was in a relationship with, hey, Jay. I was in a relationship with my my late husband at the time for 7 years and married for 2 years. And he was 14 years older than me. And so, and I was cool with that. You know, my father's very distinguished. So there was a certain kind of, I knew what I wanted. You got to still have swag, but a level of maturity. Definitely. You know what I'm saying? And so when I was married to him, it was interesting. It was a learning curve for me, but I was willing to rock with the flow. And there were some things that he didn't like about me, because keep in mind, I was 14 years younger than him. So you only know. He was like, babe, can you stop wearing, do you have to wear heels going to Walmart? You know that whole,
the dress, heels. I know where it's going.
He was like,
want you to be modest.
Right.
More modest.
Right. And he was a reverend. So, but you know what I said to him? Because I didn't want to say no, right? I didn't want to say no. So what I said was, I'll tell you what. You buy me what you want to see me in. So that's not saying no. And that's also not saying I'm going to stop being who I am. You know, and so that's what he started.
It's an opportunity.
Doing. It's an opportunity. It's a win-win.
I can dig it.
You know,
I can dig it.
You can dig it. So that's what but you know what he started doing? He started buying my clothes 2 sizes bigger.
Oh, no.
So buying my clothes 2 sizes bigger. But guess what? Because that was my husband. When we would go out, why don't you put this on? I was like, what in the little house of prairie is going on here?
Right.
I know. Norm, the station owner, just was like, no tight jeans for you. Yeah, he wasn't having it. But
no fitted jeans.
No fitted jeans. No fitted nothing. And I said, you know what? All right, I'm going to throw this on just because we going out. But when I was with my girls, I would dress it up and he would, all right. Okay. I'm like, you know, everything is good, you know, but that's that whole compromising piece, you know?
Yeah.
And there was a learning component of, you know, be a little bit this, be a little bit that. Not that you try to change the person, but there's parts of you that you don't want to change, just like there's parts of me that I don't want to change.
That's right.
So that's where the compromise has to come into play.
It does. I think that also you have to look at, you know, what your significant other, I mean, as a man, you know, this dating or, you know, looking at the woman that I'm dating, you know, what gives her the most confidence? You know, what makes her feel most comfortable and allow her to, you know, operate in her femininity. You don't want to take away from that.
Right.
Especially if when you met, you don't know where she has come from. You don't know if she is transitioned from someone that was super reserved and now she's embracing her body. Maybe she lost some weight, maybe she gained some weight, or maybe she, you know, whatever the case is, you don't want to take away from her growth. You want to really understand it more so than take away from it.
Something I want to ask you that I know. LaToya, hey, Toya. This is one of my girls on here.
Hey, Toya.
Toya is on here. Let me tell you, you got a couple of people on here. Toya, Minister Carolyn McPherson is on here. Who else jumped on? Wanda Crump is on here. Hey, Jay. Teresa Ray. Alicia is all the way in North Kakalaki. And Charlene is on here. Nikki Riggins, thank you for joining. And Tina the Tiger Mitchell is on here. And so... Tell me something. I posted one of your videos about toxic relationships.
Yeah.
What do you consider toxic?
Yeah. You know, I think that toxic relationships is very easy to identify and it's universal. Toxic relationships are the relationships that you know that it has not been good for you, has not been healthy for you, does not empower you as an individual. It gives you a short-term thrill. It gives you something to where it's in the moment, but there's no future in it, right? So when you think about it, you just think about those moments. You think about being in the moment, and you think about IG, instant gratification. You know, and the thing about toxicity is once you continue to operate in that, you can't get enough. Like you literally have to pull yourself out of that situation to be able to look at it because you won't be able to get enough. It'll give you a thrill. It'll give you, like I said, you know, temporary gratification. But you know it's toxic for you because it's not building your character. It's not building your spirit. You know, it's emotional ties. It's highs and lows, it's ups and downs. You know what's good for you because what's good for you, you don't have to put a lot of effort for it to make sense. You don't have to convince yourself that this is something that I should continue to do. Right. So when you're dealing with toxicity, you're literally going against what you know is right. It's a constant battle. Right. So, you know, there's thrills, you know, with that. But at the same time, is it really growing you?
Is it growing you? Is it fair? Financially,
emotionally,
it's crippling.
spiritually.
All of that.
Is it good for you?
It's crippling.
Yeah.
It's crippling. It's almost like, see, okay, I'm like an old school movie buff. You ever seen Misery?
Of course.
It's like Misery. Yeah, okay?
It is.
That toxic woman, she was so tripolar, it's insane. Coming around, smiling and laughing, and you want something to eat? Next thing you know, she got a whole sledgehammer breaking his ankles. And then telling him that she's his #1 fan. You know what I'm saying? So that's toxic.
It's hard to believe.
It's hard to believe
from the outside looking in how a person can continue to convince themselves that this makes sense to do.
You know what? Is it wrong? And tell me what you think about this, right? Because as you started talking about the dynamic of being unhealthy, and even though it is hard to let go, is it fair to say that a toxic relationship is a stronghold?
Oh, yeah. It definitely is, because you may not see it, right? You may not see it as a bad thing. You feel like, well, I'm grown. It's not hurting anybody. I'm doing me right now. I'll decide whenever I want this thing to end, like you have control over, but it's the exact opposite, right? It's a complete stronghold to where you don't even think that anything is wrong with you.
That you don't think anything is wrong. Y'all, can I just make a quick statement? Manipulation is real.
It is real.
And in toxic relationships, one of the scariest things that a person can do, the one who's being affected by, what's the word? Is it toxicity? The one who's being affected by it, manipulating their mind to agree with the person that's being toxic just for the sake of peace, for the sake of them loving that person and feeling like, well, if I let go or if I do that, is there something wrong with me? Absolutely not. You know, there's a mechanism of guilt that when a person feels like they need to walk away, because it's like, okay, well, I've done this, I've helped, and if I walk away, then I can't help that person or I can't be what that person needs. But what are you being for yourself?
Right. Yeah.
What are you being for yourself?
You got to look at what you're losing, right? You're not moving forward in life, right? You're not progressing. Your whole mindset is off, and you are literally focused on the wrong thing.
The wrong thing.
Literally.
The wrong thing. I had a couple of comments on Instagram earlier about this toxic thing. And one of my girlfriends, Kelly, said, I guess they think it's better than being single. Or maybe they already know what to expect, what that person is going to be like. And then walking into the unknown may not be an option for them. It's too much to have to learn someone new. That was like, whoa.
Yeah. That's pretty powerful, because when you think about it, let's just say that you're in a relationship and things aren't going in the direction that you desire. You guys are having challenges and things like that. And let's just say that there is you guys decide, this isn't going to work out, or this person wants to work things out after you've had some issues. Either way, whether you stay in a relationship and you guys work it out, or whether you go into something that's different, you actually have to have the same mindset. It's going to be new anyway. Right. Even if you're with somebody that you've been with for 10 years, and you guys are at the brink of considering, taking that fork in the road, if you guys decide to be together, it has to be brand new. That relationship has to be brand new.
Altogether.
You got to be willing. You got to be willing to start from scratch, even with knowing what you know. If you say that you're going to start over, if you say that you're going to, create this, you got to be prepared to move forward with that.
You have to be prepared.
Stay committed to the commitment.
Oh, you better write that down and preach it. Stay committed to the commitment. I like that. And then I'm going to tell you something. Somebody else, my girl Bianca, had said, because they present a challenge and we don't like to be defeated. Listen. OMG. And that's the truth.
Yeah.
Tina the Tiger Mitchell says, and then make excuses to overlook the hurt. See, Tina, can I make a statement about that? That's when we start self-sabotaging.
Right.
That's when we start self-sabotaging. Right. When we start doing that, we make excuses to overlook our own pain. Am I wrong for saying that's like chipping away at your heart?
That's completely real.
Oh my, that's
real.
That's yeah.
It's real.
And Kelly, Leslie Jackson, Kelly says it's a constant battle. And then Susie P, my Suzanne Parchment, says, "Oh my goodness, yeah." Because y'all listen. I'm sure at some point Tina just said, "Yes, I've been there, sis." I'm gonna clap it up for you for being honest, because the truth is, Hunty, I have been there too. I think we at some point can all be honest and say we've either been the one that's been toxic or we've been affected by receiving this toxicity. One or the other.
Yeah. One or the other.
One or the other.
Both.
Both? We could be both.
Yeah. But I mean, if we're gonna be real,
right?
Then a lot of times, we can identify those traits because we've been on the other end. Whether we've been the one that has been manipulative. I mean, let's just keep it real, right? You do certain things if you want to keep what you have, right? So you get creative, you embellish, whatever you want to call it. To deny what you're really doing, but you see those traits. You take advantage of the things that has worked in the past, right? And then you bring them back up to reel that person in. And sometimes you reel them in just to prove that you can reel them in. You really don't want them, and you really don't want them, but you don't want nobody else to have them either. You don't want nobody else to have them. So you try to reel them in just so that they don't get with anybody else. But you done moved on and went ahead and had Jane, Jessica, and all of this other ones. But you want to go ahead and hold. I can't. I'm giving you a high five from a distance because that just shifted my entire shondo just now. I'm sitting back like, you ain't never lied. I'm going to tell you something. I have a cousin that said, and I talk about this so much, and I've said this so many times. I have a cousin that has said that we have got to stop exchanging our red flags for white flags. Wow. I will never forget that. I don't remember nothing else that she's ever said, but that. That's strong. But stop exchanging red flags for white flags. I'll never forget it at all. Yeah. And yeah. It's okay to be able to see a red flag, but y'all, I'm not trying to be funny. Address it. Say, I see this. Now, you can always tell when they know they're in the wrong because they become super defensive. They flip it back onto you, and you are the one at fault. There it is. You are the one at fault. Somebody just said, my cousin Shakia said, I'm toxic like that. I play because they play. But Kia, but who has that kind of time? Because here's why, Kia. Yeah. When you really legit, but see, I know you've been hurt, but when you really, really want to get into a relationship, you don't want. You're not going to be in position. You're not going to, right. You absolutely right. Because somebody good could want to be there. And because of that pain, easy to be missed. You know what? That's so good because, I like to talk about positioning, especially the reason why I like to share positioning with women because, if a man findeth a wife, that means he has to be in pursuit to find her, right? But she has to already be in position. Now, when I say position, meaning you already have to be a wife. It doesn't say when a man findeth a woman, make her a wife. You have to already be a wife. So you have to already be in position for that man to find you, right? So that's why it's so key to really, stay in preparation mode. You know, as men, I always promote, we have to stay in preparation, like the mind, the body, the spirit. We have to work on, you know, finances. Like, don't be mad because a woman has a certain standard. You set that tone, right? And a lot of times it's like, it's more of a mindset than it is anything else.
Right.
Because whatever you make right now, if your mindset is to continue to build and improve, then it's going to catch up with you.
Right.
Right. You have to be a good steward over 50K before you get 100K. You got to be a good steward over 150 before you can get 200. Because if you put yourself in a position, let's give an example of, now you have this job as a CEO of this corporation, and it's 300K. Okay, you got the money, but do you know what it takes to be a CEO?
Right. Right.
So it's not the money, it's you being in position, and it's with you being prepared. So you have to be able to operate as a CEO before you can have those finances attached to you, or you're not going to know what to do with it.
Or you're not going to know what to do with it. And see, okay, so even with that, there's nothing wrong with saying, before I take this position, I need to go into training.
That's it.
There's nothing wrong with saying, I need to make sure that I'm able to handle this position. And I think sometimes people just think, oh, I got it, I can do this. No, you really can't, because you haven't even gotten a chance to know the person, to know what you're able to do with or for the person. So
that's a fact.
Just come in just like, I don't know what to expect. I know that there's a task. Whatever comes my way, I'll challenge it. I'll try to tackle it. I'll handle it. Whatever is cracked, I'll fix it, because it won't get broke. You know, if you already have, it depends on, like you said, it's the mindset. But again, you have to already be, like you said, in position to be teachable and be trainable. Nobody want to talk about being trained. Okay. People get offended when you say, oh, you got to train somebody, or you got, and nobody.
They already know everything.
Right. They know everything. And you got to forgive me for saying this. Nobody wants to hear the word submit. Ooh, Rob, I had somebody delete me and block me from Facebook.
You're going to get some hate mail with that one.
Ooh, I did. I did. I had talked about it. This one girl deleted me from Facebook because I talked about the importance of submitting in a marriage. And then I even said that before you even submit in a marriage, show a little measure of submission even in the dating process, so that he can trust you enough to say, I could see you being my wife. The reason why.
That's right.
Tell me I'm right again. Go ahead and say it.
No, you're 100% right. You know, I think that people get caught up with that word, but if you actually think about the process, right, as men, we have to submit to God. We have to submit to authority. Like, how else are we going to learn? You got to, right? And you know, in order to be a strong leader, you have to be a great servant. Servitude. You know, the greatest leaders understand what being servant driven is all about. That means you don't have all the answers, but you get really good at knowing where the resources are. You get really good at asking questions. You get really good at bringing in your partner and you guys troubleshooting together. She can't be mad if you say, I don't know, babe, can you help?
Right.
Can you help? Can we figure this thing out together?
Right.
Oh, you're going to get some good. You do that?
Up high.
That day.
That minute. That second, and you might get around to.
You know, I mean, I think that, you know, when you bring in a partner, if you consider yourself desiring a partner, you're going to really have to understand what partnership is about.
Absolutely.
Partnership isn't about talking to each other or talking at each other, or competing, because there's way too much competing going on in relationships. But it's actually allowing this journey to be in unison. That's the beauty about it. You do not have to walk alone. You don't have to go through and suffer in silence. You don't have to do things on your own, try to figure it out. That's what your partner is about. You know?
That's so beautiful.
So for me, you know, to be honest with you, I'm not a handy guy. I'm not a handyman. You know, I ain't gonna be under the sink taking wrenches and putting washers in there. I'm not gonna do that.
Right.
Now, if she's a DIY, I'll help her. Baby, you need me to hand you, hey, whatever. But if not, I'm just making a call. You know, but at the same time, you know, knowing who your partner is, there's certain things that they may enjoy.
Right.
Allow them to do that. Whatever their strengths are, allow them to do that.
Right.
You know, it's whatever is going to uplift your household. That's
Absolutely.
the only relationships that matter is within your own household.
Within your own house.
Who cares what people are judging on the outside?
Who cares? It's what you guys got. Let me tell you something. Any relationship that I was in, and I got receipts for that, I kept people out of my business.
Yeah.
And I was very careful how to shut people out of my ear. I got somebody. You have to. I got somebody right now going through that who has a girl whose friends are always in her ear, and she now comes back to him like, well, this is what they say, and this is about you. And I said, if you don't break up with her and tell her to go build a relationship with those girlfriends and keep it moving, because you can't do that. You can't. You're not gonna. No man wants to compete with a woman's family and her friends and all these other people in her ear, because now it makes it seem like you don't trust the man that you with. And I'm gonna tell you something. You'll have him deal with somebody else, and rightfully so. He will leave.
You know, I think you're spot on. You straight up hit the nail on the head, because you have to think about, if she's torn and family and friends on the left, and then your significant other on the right, then you're no longer one. You've separated yourself from your partner. You're no longer one. That's the worst part. You've separated yourself from that partner.
Man. And then you're gonna sit up here and say, well, it's not my fault. Bye. It's not your fault.
Hey, look, we all know how that works, right? The friends ain't gonna be happy until you're no longer with your person, and then when they get with their person, they won't have nothing to do with you.
Right. So y'all, I'm gonna be honest with you. You hear
back
what he's
out
saying?
the door.
Right. Now you hear what he's saying? Keep folk out your business. And I'm gonna tell you something. When it's just the two of y'all, it's the two of y'all. You can conquer anything. And with God, of course. You know what? Of course, with God. So at the end of the day, I'm not trying to be funny, but if you a God-fearing person and you hook up with somebody that don't have no relationship with God and have no intentions of having a relationship with God, please don't think that you could change them. Have you ever been in that situation?
Disaster,
right.
Well, you know, I've never been in that situation, only because of my foundation with my relationship with God. You know, I understand, like, he has literally blessed me and got me out of so many situations to where he has nothing to prove, right? I've already been in the situation like, Lord, if you get me out of this situation, I promise you I won't slap nobody no more. Or whatever the case is, right? He's done it. He's done it. He's done it all. Financial situations, depression, you know, physical illnesses and issues. He's done it all. So, you know, my faith and my belief system is at an all-time high.
That's so beautiful. I'm going to clap it up just for that.
Okay.
Yes. Because that there is a strong point. And men these days don't realize how important it is to be solid on who you believe in. And that truly will, listen, any man that's able to be led by God and be able to have an interaction, an encounter, be able to be led by the Holy Spirit, it don't get no better than that, because a godly man won't lead you wrong.
I don't know where else you'd be able to get guidance. I don't know where else you would be able to transition to the greater version of yourself. I don't know how you can operate in your purpose. How do you find your purpose without God? I don't know. I don't know. And that's one thing that I challenge women to. You can ask about, well, how you treat your baby mama, how you treat your mama.
Right.
Is your taxes and child support situation? Do you got a car, an apartment? The strongest question is, how do you feel about your purpose? That's going to tell you everything. If you think that's a strange question, if he's never been asked that before, I suggest you go the other way.
Wow.
If he is offended, well, what you mean my purpose? I don't. That he ain't it.
Y'all hear that?
He ain't it.
Y'all hear that from Mr. Rob Malloy himself? He said he ain't it. Look, me and Erica Johnson still stuck on the whole he has nothing to prove. I put in the chat, said, that almost made me run. I promise you, I left my shouting shoes in the car. I got my Jordans on right now, but that almost made me run. Because God really has nothing to prove. He's done more than enough.
Nah.
He's done more than enough.
No need to question him. Nah, not at all.
Tequila Hunter said, how do you feel about your purpose? That's good. Yeah, that was good. And then Nikki Riggins said, the only opinions that matter are the opinions of those in the relationship. Dwayne Boone says, 100. Absolutely. Teresa Ray said, knowing who your partner is, knowing who your partner is, 100. Uplift the relationship in your household. Can I make a quick statement?
Say it.
She used the word uplift. And I just want to say this. The one thing and the worst thing a woman can do is tear down a man in his own house. And there's a scripture that says a nagging woman is like a dripping faucet. And
I need that verse.
I'll look it up for you. It's in Proverbs.
I'm gonna post it. I'm posting it ASAP.
I'm gonna look for it when we get off. It's in Proverbs, and I'm gonna send it to you. No man wants to deal with no nagging woman, no woman that's going to, as someone I know would say, emasculate a man. And I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't care what the man been through, because just because he's able to show you what he's been through and might not have shown anybody else doesn't mean you get to beat him down and bully him. Okay.
That's right.
And that whole uplift part, I've seen so many women degrade men for not having a certain amount of money, yet they don't even have the money to match it. And they got the nerve to sit up here and say, I want a man that got this, and you don't even have a quarter of it. Then, well, he don't have this kind of job. Okay, but what do you have? Do you have a job? Are you trying to, even if you don't have one, what are you using with your hands? Because Proverbs 31 talks about that woman, that virtuous wife. She did so much. She was a realtor. She worked with her hands. She got up in the middle of the night to make sure her family was taken care of. And it says that her husband and her children praised her. It doesn't say nothing about her husband saying that she was a nag. And when we look at women now, because of the way the media portrays them to be and the way music portrays that they should be, I really believe that it's thwarted the mindset of what the character of a godly woman, and not even if you're not godly, let's just take, because not everybody knows God. They're going to learn about God today, though. But at the end of the day, just being a woman, there's just a way that you handle yourself. Okay. Yeah. So
agreed.
Have you seen women dog men out and in a way where it's like, my sis, that's not how you talk to a brother?
Yeah. I have in my past. I'm 48 years old. For me, I surround myself with a certain caliber of people. I have very selective friends, associates, and things like that. But in my past, I have witnessed, disloyalty. You know, and it's unfortunate because even if there is a situation where that man is down, he has done some things for you as well, or you wouldn't have been with him, right? He had, you know, there's always an exchange. There's always an exchange. Sometimes there is a exchange of emotion for support.
Right.
Sometimes there's an exchange of security for loyalty, whatever the case is, or boosting your ego, whatever the case is, right? So even if that man has not been known, for money, you was feeling some type of way, right? Your self-esteem was low, or you felt like the last person did not devalue you. So that man came in your life. He showed you that you were valuable. He supported you. He showed you true love and respect, which is something that you weren't experiencing before.
Right.
Right. So if all men have vision, it just sometimes has to be curated. And you can't curate it if you're not in position. Men have to be in position as well. You say, a man is not disciplined, that's because he is not operating in his purpose. If he realizes that he has a purpose and he starts operating, then discipline, consistency, all that stuff comes with it.
Right.
And that has nothing to do with you. That's everything to him. Because if he's disciplined to himself, then it carries over to be disciplined in everything that he puts his hands in. So it's, so you have to understand that everybody has a different growth spurt.
Everybody has a different growth spurt. And it's all about how patient are you willing to be? Because that patience is a will.
Yeah, somebody who's patient with you.
Let me tell you something.
That's what's crazy. People forget where they've been. Somebody was patient with you. Somebody supported you when when your finances wasn't up to par. I ain't gonna try to be funny enough. You had a sponsor, or you had somebody that helped you out to get you to the next level. Nobody did anything by themselves.
Nobody. Ever. Let me tell you something. You know they in here posting up this scripture, right?
Okay. Should have known, right?
Look, they over here posting it. Yes, having church. Proverbs 27:15-16. And it says, a nagging spouse is like the drip, drip, drip of a leaky faucet.
Oh, wow.
You can't turn it off and you can't get away from it.
Okay, let me put that note together. Okay, what's that, Proverbs?
Proverbs 27:15-16.
Oh, yeah.
They over there posting that scripture up. And then someone else posted 21:19. This one here, Tequila Don't Start Nothing. Kevin Nelson, God bless you. Thank you, Lucretia and Michi, for posting up the scripture. Tequila Hunter said, Proverbs 21:9. It is better to dwell. Yes, Lord. It is better to dwell in a corner of the housetop than with a brawling woman in a wide house. Right.
We don't hear too much. I don't think I've ever heard that verse put out there before.
Proverbs.
Skip 21. Over that one, right?
Yeah, right.
You know how many verses put out there like that?
Yeah. Let me tell you, they all get skipped. Folks skip. They go through Proverbs and just talk about wisdom. They don't talk about that street woman crying aloud at night on the lamppost. They skip over that. They skip over a whole lot. Anything that makes their life feel comfortable, right?
Look, they're talking about David and Goliath before they talk about that.
Right. Y'all up in here going in. Tequila said, as a woman, you have to respect your husband, help them emotionally as well as physically, because men need pampering too.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
It's mutually beneficial when you think about it.
Yeah.
If a man shows respect to his woman, he reverences her, he edifies her. It's mutual beneficial. She's not gonna be mad at you.
Talk real.
If a woman supports her guy, encourages him, and respects him, he's not gonna be upset.
Nope.
He's not gonna be mad. You're not gonna be pissed off
at all.
So how is that hurtful? How does that hurt?
Make it make sense. It doesn't.
I don't know.
Right. Wait, look. If you don't know, you know I don't know. You know I don't know. Let me ask you.
Right.
Let me ask you. I'm telling you, everyone's over here going in mutual beneficial. Nikki said the other one they skip over is 1 Thessalonians. Do you see them going into this Bible?
Yeah, is this Bible study?
They going in.
Yeah, you gotta start putting that into the description. Right?
Listen, they going in. She said 1 Thessalonians 1:11. To your older point, minding your business and focus on your responsibilities, even in your relationship. Let me tell you something.
Wow.
That part.
Yeah.
Yeah. And focus on your responsibilities.
You can't pick and choose. You gotta take it all in.
You know what? You see what she said, and I'm not gonna hold you because I know I was supposed to. I'm sorry. It's just flowing so well. I lost track of time. Let me tell you something. I'm gonna say this too. Focus on your responsibilities. Okay, ladies. Now this is where I get the slack from. You ready? The Bible says in Proverbs that she handles the affairs of her household. Now, women that are, you know where I'm going with this. Women that are saying that he needs to do this, he needs to do that. If a man don't do this, all the stuff you saying that he should be doing is what you should be doing. The only thing he was sent out to do was toil the land. That was it. But there's a whole slew of stuff that she is assigned to do. When you think about dear future wife, what does your future wife look like to you?
Yeah. She has embraced her purpose. She understands what preparation is. She believes in alignment. If the life and the lifestyle that you're living, or even desire to live, if it isn't in alignment, then there's no longevity.
Ooh.
You know, I think a lot of times we get caught up in love. Like even in 2024, we still get caught up in lust, and we're still calling it love. Even in 2024, right? Because if you're thinking about longevity, then you can't just be looking at what's going on right now.
Right.
It has to make sense long term. So you know what? What I'm doing right now, you have to understand that I have to continue to do that and build upon that because my job is not done yet. My servitude is not done. So if you're upset right now because of the mission that I'm on and you want me to slow down, then we're not compatible and we're not in alignment. You have to understand and believe that your man, your future spouse is going to continue to be on a mission. And you have to understand where you'll be able to support him at. Because if you support me, you support me on my mission, then my job will continue to be that you're taken care of in all aspects, spiritually, emotionally, financially, physically. Like there's no substitute for any of those. None of those things can lack. None of those things can lack. So I'm going to do whatever it takes to make sure that none of those lack in our relationship, in our partnership.
That's beautiful. I had somebody that was interested in me at one point. You see, I said at one point, right? Because at one point, and then said, I don't know if I could be with somebody like you. Because, right. And I said, why? You too busy.
Too much.
And I'm like, too busy. And I said, well, let's put a pause on it because I make time for who I want to make time for, regardless how busy I am.
Yeah.
So I have the radio show. I am active in the women's ministry. I'm, doing that. I got my Unbothered the movement that is really doing well. And then I'm sitting back like, I thought guys wanted a woman that shows, hey, she's doing something. She's operating in purpose. And she's doing things that show that she's capable of not just standing on her 2 feet. There's still room for him to come in, whatever it is that she's doing. But no, instead, that intimidation. And I talked about this on the show a couple of weeks ago. I can't be with nobody who can't understand the life that I have, where there's still room for them to be included, but they're jealous of the posture that I have taken to pursue purpose. And sometimes I'm gonna be honest with you, Robin. I'm gonna let you go. I'm sorry. There's a jealousy there.
Yeah.
People get jealous. And it's not that they're jealous of what you do, they're jealous of who you are. And so now we got to be very mindful of who we attach ourselves to. So I ain't trying to kick it with no serpent. You know what I'm saying? I ain't.
You're right.
You know,
that
serpent try to wrap around your leg. Next thing you know, that slither feels some kind of good until they bite you. And then what?
Or squeeze the life out.
Squeeze the life out of you. You know, and so that what you said is super duper powerful. Super duper powerful. How can everybody connect with you, watch your videos like I do?
Yeah, for sure. All right. Well, let me address what you said, because I think it's important to actually address that, because I think a lot of women that wear multiple hats don't really understand what type of mate should be with them. They think that all the men are intimidated, when really it's a simple solution, right? So if a woman is operating in her purpose, and a lot of women, right, function on a high level, right? Y'all have mastered multitasking. When y'all are focused, that is, right?
Right.
When you focus and operate on a high level, you wear a lot of hats. And so the man that comes in your life should understand the positioning. And in this particular instance, he should understand that what needs to happen is delegation. You have to understand what delegation means, right? If you're wearing all of these hats, then that means you are in so many places and you can't be everywhere at one time. So you can't maximize where you're at. But if you can delegate, then you can have a bigger overall picture and see, okay, what this right here needs to be dealt with. We need to make some improvements here. This is going well. Keep this on where it's going. And a man should understand that if he's operating in his purpose, because he doesn't need to step in and run your business, but he needs to help you understand the solution to, or at least suggest, or at least, hey, babe, you know what? This is what I was thinking about. Let me, put this out there. If we work on delegating a lot of the things that you're doing, then that frees you up. You're not dealing with burnout, and you're not exhausted mentally, physically. Your money's stretching and things like that. Then, I just feel like God's purpose in partnership is to enhance each other.
Right.
There is a way, and he ain't got to have, a whole bunch of money to be able to do that. He just has to have the right mind. Right? He has to have the right guidance. So if he's not submitting himself to a higher authority for guidance, then he can't help you in any way. In any way.
Rob,
even temporary good wood. I got to throw that in there at the interview. Y'all almost got away. I had to get that in there, but that temporary good wood will mess you up.
Temporary good wood.
Church folk, y'all too.
Listen, you're going to make me throw this mic? Oh my God. And I might throw myself in forward. That's hilarious. Can I just read 3 more things? You just blessed my life.
Go ahead.
3 more things. Norm, I didn't hear the keys yet. Oh, that's because when he starts wiggling them keys, that's my cue. I start playing the music and I'm like, all right, I'm out. I was like, look, I didn't hear the keys. That's a good sign. So I'm going to read these last 3. Nikki Riggins says, A man who is operating in his purpose can appreciate a woman walking in her purpose.
Fact.
Kelly said, that's a big fact. Kelly says, purpose identifies purpose. If they don't know their own, they can't understand your purpose or busyness.
That's it.
And then Teresa Ray says, I will be honest, because of my age/generation, I feel a bit different. She says, I was married and gave it 20 years. It almost took me out. Yes, we both had percentages of the breakdown. I'm not blaming everything on him, but I have learned. This time around, if I'm blessed to do it again, I just want someone that I can live in peace with and enjoy life with.
That's major.
That peace is
That's
everything.
That's big.
That peace is everything. That peace is everything. Oh, you were just absolutely amazing. Thank you so much.
This has been impactful. I definitely appreciate it. To answer your question, you can find me on all social media platforms. I am Rob Malloy. Whatever social media platform is your favorite, I'm there. You can always go to my website, www.robmalloy.com. And I got some great things, man. So just follow me and see what I have going on.
Y'all, he does. I watch him every day. He's amazing. And when I say amazing,
I just dropped a cool post on IG before we even got started.
See?
Going crazy.
I believe it. Women over there trying to get that outfit to match yours. I saw it.
There it is.
I already know.
There it is.
You're going to have people saying, look, I pulled out something red because it's going to flow with that black and white. You're going to get a whole lot.
You know, I just want to give people, an alley-oop to the belief system, because if you think about it, when we was younger, much, much younger, toddlers, if nobody can tell you to stop, nobody would tell you no, you would keep going, right? Until you experience that didn't work, but it still didn't stop you from trying something differently. If that didn't work, you're not going to quit, so we have to get back to that childlike faith and mentality that just because something didn't work one time, that we don't have to stop. Continue to believe, continue to move forward.
Y'all heard it. Y'all heard it directly from Mr. Rob Malloy. Y'all go ahead and keep going forward. Have the faith to go forward. Don't give up. Love is for everybody. God is love. And if God is available and his love is available every single day, why can't you experience the kind of love? And I truly believe that if God gives you the desires of your heart and it's lined up with his word and his will, I believe he is obligated to fulfill that desire.
Yeah, it's already done. We already have access to it. We have to activate it.
Go ahead and talk about activate the access. Don't shift my shondo, okay? I told you already once.
Well, I'm coming in a Honda.
Coming in a Honda.
Or singing in a Hyundai.
Oh, listen, that too. Rob, you are all right with me. You are all right with me. Y'all better go ahead and follow him. Follow him and get it started now. I love this thing. Oh, wait, here's my drum part. Hey! Bye, y'all.
That's nice.
Bye, y'all. Isn't that hot?
That's nice.
Yes, I love it. I promise you, I come in and when Norm starts playing this, play, I start getting amped.
That's love. Yeah.
Oh, man. Rob, thank you so much. God bless you richly.
I'm honored.
And I
God
pray
bless you
that
too.
you find your future wife. You'll get her. Bless you richly. Yeah.